Attention passionate Cleveland, Browns fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Cleveland Browns fans. Let's get to the news now, Browns fans. I know the offseason always brings a mix of excitement, hope, and sometimes a little bit of disappointment. But today we're diving into a story that's shaking up not just the Browns, but the entire AFC North. It's a story about loyalty, business decisions, and what it truly means to be a Cleveland Brown. And trust me, it's one that's going to have fans talking for quite a while. So let's set the scene. We're already deep into June and something unusual is happening. Nick Chubb, the beloved running back, the guy who has been the heart and soul of this franchise for years, is still unsigned. That's right. After the Browns made the decision to let him walk in free agency, you might think he'd be snapped up by now, right? Well, here we are, months later, and no team has come forward with an offer that makes sense for him. It's quite shocking, honestly. Chubb, the Georgia product who has been the star of the Browns' backfield, the guy who single-handedly carried the offense during some of Cleveland's most memorable seasons, remains without a team. This situation has sparked a lot of debate among fans and analysts alike. Some say that it's just the nature of the business, that teams are always looking for the next best thing, and sometimes even franchise icons have to accept the reality of a shifting NFL landscape. But others, including many Browns fans, believe that there's more to it. That perhaps this isn't just about money or cap space, but about respect, about doing what's right. And that's exactly what Nick Carnes, a dedicated Browns supporter, pointed out on X, formerly known as Twitter. He tweeted out a heartfelt plea, urging the Browns to do the right thing and bring back Nick Chubb. And honestly, it's hard not to agree with him. Because if you really look at the story behind Chubb's time in Cleveland, it's a story of loyalty, perseverance, and pure talent. When the Browns drafted him out of Georgia, he immediately became a cornerstone. His vision, his power, and his ability to break tackles made him one of the most feared runners in the league. In fact, there were seasons where he was arguably the best player on the team, carrying the offense almost single-handedly. That's no small feat, especially in a league where the running back position has often been devalued. But Chubb proved every doubter wrong, showing time and again that he was a franchise player, the kind you build around. Now, the Browns' front office has been very calculated about this entire process. Reports suggest that they didn't want to re-sign Chubb unless they had a clear role for him in their offensive scheme. And that makes sense from a business perspective. Nobody wants to bring back a player just for the sake of it, especially not when they have other young talents in the pipeline. Cleveland has invested heavily in their future at the running back position, drafting Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson, two promising young backs who could very well be part of the team's plans moving forward. These draft picks are not just about filling a roster spot, they're about building a new identity, a new core that can take the Browns to the next level. At the same time, the Browns' decision to let Chubb walk has a personal side to it, one that resonates deeply with fans who have followed his career since day one. Chubb's loyalty to Cleveland has always been evident. Despite the injuries and the ups and downs, he has spoken about his love for the city, the fans, and the organization. He's been more than just a player. He's been a symbol of resilience and hard work, embodying what it means to be a Cleveland Brown. That's why many believe that, despite the business side of things, there's a moral obligation here. It's about doing what's right for a player who has given so much to this franchise and its supporters. But as it stands, the Browns seem to be taking a cautious approach. The reports indicate that they didn't want to sign Chubb unless they had a specific role in mind, one that would maximize his talents without just making him a backup or a situational player. They didn't want to insult him by signing him just to be a backup or depth piece, which is understandable. After all, Chubb's production over the years has been exceptional. He's averaged over 4.5 yards per carry for most of his career and has amassed over 5.0 rushing yards and 35 touchdowns in just 5 seasons. These aren't just good numbers, they're elite, and they demand respect. Yet, despite all this, it seems like the Browns are hesitant to bring him back. The drafting of Judkins and Sampson signals a shift towards the future, and the fact that Jerome Ford, another talented back, agreed to take a pay cut to stay with the team further complicates Chubb's potential return. It's a tough pill to swallow for Browns fans, especially those who have watched Chubb deliver highlight reel plays, carry the offense on his shoulders, and become a fan favorite. Now, there's also the looming possibility that Chubb might end up signing with another team, perhaps the Chicago Bears, who were linked to him for a few weeks. The Bears, a team in transition with a new coaching staff and new quarterback, could be a landing spot that makes sense. But even if that happens, it leaves a bittersweet taste. Cleveland fans always hoped that he would finish his career in the same city he made his mark. The idea of a hometown hero leaving for another team, especially in a league where loyalty is often tested, is difficult to digest. And here's the thing, Chubb's situation highlights a broader conversation about the NFL, about how players are valued, and how teams handle their franchise icons. It's a reflection of the business side of football, but it also raises questions about respect, loyalty, and what it truly means to be part of a team. For Browns fans, it's a reminder of how much Chubb has meant to this franchise, and why perhaps it's time for Cleveland to make a stand, to do the right thing, and give this player the farewell he deserves. Because at the end of the day, some things are bigger than just a contract. They're about legacy, respect, and doing what's right for the player who helped build this team's identity. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Browns are entering a pivotal year. With Deshaun Watson finally healthy and ready to lead the offense, there's a renewed sense of optimism around Cleveland. The team invested heavily in their quarterback, giving up draft capital and signing him to a long-term deal, so naturally, they want to maximize his potential and build around him. But that means making smart decisions about the roster, decisions that could impact the team's chemistry and overall performance. The running back position, in particular, is one that's seen a lot of evolution in recent years. The NFL has shifted towards a more committee-based approach, with teams relying on multiple backs to share the load. But the impact of a player like Chubb, if he were to come back, would be immense. His ability to wear down defenses, control the clock, and make explosive plays is something that can't be easily replaced. And Browns fans know better than anyone how crucial a true workhorse back can be during the playoff push. In terms of statistics, Chubb has been one of the most consistent performers in the league. Over his career, he has averaged around 300 rushing yards per season, with multiple 200-yard campaigns. His rushing yards per game, yards after contact, and forced missed tackles all rank among the best in the league. When healthy, Chubb is a game-changer, and his absence leaves a noticeable void in Cleveland's offense. What's fascinating is that, even with all these numbers and the loyalty he's shown, the NFL's business model seems to be pushing him aside. Teams are quick to move on from players when they hit a certain age or salary threshold, often overlooking their leadership and impact in the locker room. But Browns fans, and many NFL analysts, argue that losing Chubb without at least giving him a proper farewell or a chance to finish his story with Cleveland is a missed opportunity. It's about respecting what he brought to the field every Sunday, about honoring a player who epitomized hard work and dedication. Now, looking at the division, this potential loss of Chubb might have ripple effects beyond Cleveland. In the AFC North, teams like the Ravens and Steelers are always looking to strengthen their rosters, and a star running back can be a huge part of their offensive identity. If Cleveland isn't able to retain Chubb, it could open the door for rivals to capitalize, to gain an edge at a position that's so vital in today's NFL. And that's why Browns fans should be paying close attention to how this story unfolds in the coming weeks. Furthermore, the Browns' strategy at the running back position will be something to watch. Judkins and Sampson are talented, no doubt, but they're still unproven at the NFL level. The league has shown that experience, leadership, and a proven track record matter a lot when it comes to playoff success. Having a veteran like Chubb, who understands the game inside out, could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. It's not just about the yards, it's about the leadership, the locker room presence, and the ability to carry a team when everything's on the line. And let's not forget the emotional aspect. Cleveland has always been a city that values its players, that treats its team like family. Chubb has become a symbol of that, a player who embodies the grit and resilience that Browns fans admire so much. The idea of him leaving for another franchise, especially without a proper send-off, feels like an unfinished chapter. Browns fans want to see their hero finish what he started, to be part of the team's future, not just a fading memory. In the end, this story reminds us all of the complex layers in the NFL, the business decisions, the personal stories, and the deep-rooted loyalty that makes football so special. Browns fans, you've seen your fair share of ups and downs, but one thing is certain: the love for this team and its players is real. Whether Chubb stays or goes, the passion remains and the hope for another Super Bowl run is always alive. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole situation? Do you think Chubb deserves a proper farewell in Cleveland? Should the team reconsider and bring him back, or is this simply the way of the NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.